Dirty old men. Okay, so this, how many of you have watched that thing, Scoop, on Netflix? Put hands up if you've watched it. So good, isn't it? Didn't those women do well? So this poem was obviously written a while back. It's called Dirty Old Men. And I want you to imagine I'm Gillian Anderson reading this. So yeah, okay, I'm going in. So this is what I think, for reals. Teenagers are told they are too young to vote, but old enough to serve the desires of oligarchs and dirty old men. They are told they are too young to be valid, too young to be justified in their protest, and too young to buy booze, too young to know their own identity, and to choose their love, their sex, their gender, their future, and too young to demand their freedom, too young to choose their gods and monsters, and too young to protest, but old enough to flee war and cross continents, and old enough to wash up dead on beaches, and old enough to be put in cages at borders, and old enough to be a child bride, and old enough to fend for themselves in refugee camps, and old enough to walk past and ignore as they beg for change in a doorway, old enough to be a soldier, old enough to die in futile wars for the profits of dirty old men. Thank you. Teenagers are told they're too young to vote, but old enough to be taken, old enough to be devoured, too old to be acting so innocent, too young to be so big for their boots, but old enough to be the man of the house, and old enough to know they need to hide and run from dirty old men. Teenagers are told they're too young to vote, too young to carry this burden of being vilified and objectified by dirty old men who want to eat them, have them, own them, fuck them. Old enough to bleed, old enough to breed, says the dirty old man, rubbing his knobbly vein, greasing his loathe with Vaseline, slathering his throbbing entitlement and his hemorrhoids and his purple bulbous ego sores as a weeping mother in mourning makes good morning telly use her floods of tears as lubricant for dirty old men. And teenagers are told they're too young to vote out the filth, too young to vote against dirty old men, with their dirty old man club, with their dirty old man jokes, with their dirty old man breath, with their filthy, outdated mentality, dirty old men traditions, dirty old men sucking cigars, dirty old men falling asleep in the Houses of Parliament, and forever making the same pathetic excuses and keeping the same handshakes and open secrets, the same slipping through loopholes of justice, hiding in plain sight, hiding behind lies that dirty old men have used for centuries as they eat the young with their stale yellow teeth, as they stamp on hope and burn down love, leaving disease and conflict on tomorrow's doorstep for future teenagers who will be told they're too young to protest, who will be told they're just teenagers and too young to vote out the same dirty old men in a stinking circle of dirty old men who are too old, too sad, and too mean. See them scratching each other's interests and investments with their filthy fingernails caked in grotesque shitflakes of corruption and greed and virus and death. Look at the dirty old man's hand clawing at the young flesh of your sons and daughters on super yachts and private jets, fingering the keyboards, seeking hot teen loves it. See their guilty hands flecked with liver spots, stained with the blood of children. Stained with the blood of children. who are never allowed to be safe to be children, who are never allowed to be safe to be children. Children just being children. Children just being children. Children just being teenagers. Get it out. Get it out. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Fuck yeah. Get it out. That's it. Get it out. You can't walk around carrying that stuff. It's not good for you. Get it out. Speak it.